Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. It's not loading up to Facebook. Come on. Hmm. Having issues loading up to Facebook
Oh, you're
again.
good.
It says we're live, but it's not loading up to Facebook. Give it a couple minutes. All right. Yeah, it says we're live, but it's not loading up to Facebook, which is very weird. Hmm. All right, well, I'm rolling it. There you go.
Powered by Riverside.
What's going on, everybody? And welcome into a brand new episode of the Broken Wheel Bearing Podcast. I'm your host, Matt Codd, and alongside of me is the one, Jake Belch. Jake, out. You were last week. You were out in Columbus. This
Yeah.
week, you're back home. I mean, I know you were celebrating Ohio State's massive championship last week. Welcome back.
Yeah, glad to be back, man. Yeah, it was sucked to miss last week, but work got in the way, so just happy to be back.
Yeah, I mean it's more opportunity for us to get more viewers, so we can get that Anheuser Busch sponsorship, baby. No,
Yeah,
I'm kidding.
that'd be awesome.
That'd be really good. I mean, Anheuser. If anyone from Anheuser Busch is listening to the show, I mean, by all means, Broken Wheel Bearing Podcast. We would
Yes.
love to have your support, baby. Jake, what did show on tap this evening? We a lot this week actually at Dover, which is kind of an unusual track to say there was a lot of action at, but Monster Mile did not disappoint. Enjoyable race down at the first state. Unfortunately, we had a show on the road, but we were unable to make it this year. Unfortunately, circumstances got in the way. All good things, obviously, but watching the race on TV, we knew a couple people who went down, which kind of stunk because they were live streaming the race. And I don't know about you, but I have Hulu Live, and I'm a couple minutes behind
Yeah.
and I'm watching the live stream and I'm like, what in God's creation's going on? I'm like, they didn't even start the race yet. So kind of threw me off. But Monster Mile did not disappoint. Miles the Monster took care of business this past weekend. We're going to be talking a lot about Dover. But then we also have a couple of other things happening around in NASCAR this week. New street course in 2026. It was officially announced today by
Mhm.
NASCAR. Really cool preview and a really cool video that they put out. We will be racing on the street, actually, not even the streets, a naval base out in San Diego. We'll be talking a little bit about that. Of course, we'll be talking about key highlights that we kind of picked out coming out of Dover. In-season tournament, we are in the championship race. We will be talking about that. Just saying, the little engine that could. Ty Dillon, baby. Ty Dillon. I do not want this run to be over. And then we'll close out tonight's discussions with our Indy Brickyard 400 race weekend preview. So sit back, relax. Man, it's like I said, it's been a couple of weeks since you and I've been on air. So it's unfortunate. Before we do start Dover, I talked a lot last week. First of all, it sucks not having a co-host anymore. When I go on the show live by myself, I try to fill in a lot of the gaps. I know we're kind of reversing the clock, but do you have any thoughts about what we saw at Chicago and Sonoma? Your final statements on those two races before we start?
I like Chicago a lot. I think it was a stepping stone. Like everybody who knows me, I don't like road courses, but I think it was a stepping stone into expanding NASCAR into a broader stream of things, getting more people in to watch it. I think the race was good. I think it was what everybody would have expected with cautions and wrecks and everything like that. Sonoma, I really enjoyed. That's my personal favorite. I thought it was a good race. You're never going to beat the 88 when he's out front on a road course. So,
No.
But yeah, I mean, I'm hoping, like, I know there are talks about having a lot more road courses, and hopefully these guys get better and give him a run for his money. I mean, it sucks because you give a guy 2 wins on a road course and can't do nothing on an oval, but that's a conversation for another time. But you got to give props when props are due, and you guys got 2 wins now, so.
Well, I think that's the biggest thing, right? And a lot of fans, coming out of the past 2 road courses, and we'll close that up before we get into Dover. We had a couple fans, Jake, that complained. They were basically like, well, what do you expect? Shane Van Gisbergen can't do anything on an oval and all that type of stuff. And where you were saying it does suck that he's not progressing the way that we thought he would on the ovals. 3 wins, Mexico City, Chicago, and Sonoma. Maybe he's built enough playoff points where he can escape the first round. Because at this point, to me, I feel like he has to, if he can just stay out of trouble in the first round of the playoffs, the Darlington, Gateway, and New Hampshire, to me, I personally think that he might be able to, get into the round of 12, make noise at the Roval, maybe make a run to the round of 8. But the problem is, it's like now we're playing this. It's almost like the Harrison Burton theory last year when I was on air. I'm like, well, Harrison Burton won Daytona. He's a playoff driver. There is a path forward, though, for Harrison Burton to make the round of 8, right?
Mm-hmm.
You got to win Atlanta. You got to win Talladega. Well, he didn't do either one of them. He got eliminated in the first round. That's how I feel like Shane Van Gisbergen is to me, where it's kind of like, yes, the 3 wins are great on the road courses. We do have Watkins Glen coming up, so maybe he nets one more checker flag before the playoffs. That'll be 4 wins. He'll have a bunch of playoff points from those road courses. Mm-hmm. But, again, looking at the 88 as a true playoff contender – not in 2025, not even close. But
before we get into it, I mean, this weekend showed.
Yeah, I mean, and that's the other thing too. I mean, they went to the COVID formula because rain and qualifying got rained out. So in practice, he ended up starting within the top 10.
Yeah.
Granted,
he started 6th.
I believe it was 6th or 7th.
I think 2 laps in, he was 32nd.
Yeah, Shane Van Gisbergen started 6th due to the COVID formula. So he started 6th, like you said. It wasn't his technical fault. He had a tire issue right off the bat. But, I mean, within 3 laps, I mean, he went from 6th to 22nd. I mean, it was not even a factor in this race. But, yeah, I mean, in regards to Shane, like you said, gotta give him credit where credit's due. You're going to have to beat this guy on road courses because he is absolutely dominant on road courses. He's going to qualify very well. He's going to either win the pole or qualify second, and then he's going to lead a bunch of laps and start picking up intervals that are going to be nearly impossible, and we're going to be looking at Formula 1 races and road courses. So I'm hoping that the Cup guys kind of get that figured out. I felt like Chase Elliott kind of did last week or 2 weeks ago at Sonoma, but did not capitalize on the new tires. But Jake, before we get started, I do want to give out a shout out to somebody, my coworker, Josh McQuiggan. He is starting a YouTube page in regards to building drag. He's a big street racer. builds he basically drag races, all that type of stuff. His YouTube page is Swazi Built. That is SWAYZEE Built, BUILT on YouTube. Some of the things that he is working on. I mean, if you're a mechanic, if you love just watching guys build cars, blue collar dude from Northeast Philadelphia, he just absolutely some of the work that he puts in his vehicles. I mean, he's building a Trailblazer right now to run on the streets. I mean, it is immaculate what he is able to do. So if you're in the YouTube videos and you're bored one night, check him out. Great YouTube page to follow. And again, he's building cars from the ground up. I mean, his shop is in the Northeast of Philadelphia. We are the official voice of NASCAR, the Southeast corner of Pennsylvania. So we want to give a special shout out to that as well. So, all right, let's take the green flag tonight on the Dover race weekend. And as you're listening, folks, Blown Engine chat line wide open, whether you're following us on Facebook or YouTube. We want to hear your thoughts and opinions of what happened down the Monster Mile. Let us be the voice of reasoning if your driver sucked. If you're a Shane Van Gisbergen fan, I'll try to knock sense into you and say, hey, look, it's just 1 week. Blown Engine chat line wide open all throughout the show tonight. Wide open. So first things first order of business. Let's talk about the J-Ski Fast headliners coming out of Dover, going into Indy. First up on the list, there's a baseball game going on at Bristol Motor Speedway this week, I believe it is, between the Reds and the Braves. So the Atlanta Braves, Cincinnati Reds, they dropped their uniform schemes for that game. They are all NASCAR racing related. The uniforms are pretty cool. They have checker flag.
They were sweet.
Yeah, checker flag rims. The numbers are kind of bolded, almost like NASCAR. I don't know if anyone has seen the track with the field in it. It's going to be tough for me as an aesthetics guy. And I felt the same way when Virginia Tech and Tennessee played that college football game at Bristol. So the game happens in the infield, but at the same time, they're selling all the seats in the grandstands. Yep. You are really far away from a lot of that. So you're going to be watching a lot of it probably on the Jumbotron down at Bristol Motor Speedway, but both teams ended up releasing their uniforms for this game coming up in a couple days. Next update. You were really excited about this one. Zach Brown Band is going to be featured on Kyle Larson's car at Las Vegas. It's not going to be the traditional Hendrick cars, red, white, and blue. It is going to be a black and gold paint scheme. It's a really slick looking car. Something that I love when teams do awesome schemes like this. This to me, I love black paint on a race car. I think it looks awesome. And with the gold trimming, absolutely makes it look even better.
I mean, to give people a perspective, think of what was that? 3 weeks ago when Chase Elliott ran the black Napa car? Same color scheme. Same color scheme. And, dude, the thing is, I think about it, is when's the last time Kyle Larson had a sponsor on his car? I know he runs the Valvoline car, but it's Valvoline or HendrickCars.com. I think it's awesome. I think it's cool. That Napa gold and black car is sick, and it's literally the same thing.
Yeah, that's probably the best description of the car because like you said, for me, it was definitely similar to what Chase Elliott has ran in the black Napa scheme. It's a really cool looking car. We'll post up on our Facebook page for your viewership as well. Next update this week, TED Sports, Indianapolis partners with Justin Haley and Gamebridge for Brickyard 400. So Justin Haley will have a different front sponsorship on the car. Let's follow up the next headliner with Pacers. Pascal Siakam will drive the pace car at the Brickyard 400. So if you're an NBA fan, Pascal Siakam will be the pace car driver at the Brickyard 400. And that's going to wrap up all of our fast headliners this week coming into the Brickyard 400. Now, there was massive news today that broke from NASCAR. And let's talk about it, Jake. NASCAR has officially announced that they will be racing a San Diego street course in 2026. We've heard the rumors for quite some time now. It has been official. NASCAR released a press video, which was actually a really cool if you haven't gotten a chance. Kind of Navy inspired, but the street course will actually be at the naval base over in San Diego. But this article is courtesy of Arden Altsley of USA Today. And again, it's NASCAR reveals street course race in San Diego for 2025. 2 years ago, the NASCAR Cup Series made history with the sport's inaugural street course race through Chicago. Since the first race in 2023, the course has been a unique challenge for drivers on the grid. Next year, they will have a new street course to prepare for. NASCAR officials announced that a new street course in San Diego will debut in 2026 in the 2026 season. The race will be held on a naval base, Coronado, and replace the Chicago street course on the schedule. NASCAR is amping this up basically as Project Race the Base. That's basically their motto. So it is pretty cool. There will be 3 days of action from San Diego next year with the Craftsman Truck Series going to be out there, the Xfinity Series, and the Cup Series, all competing in NASCAR's second ever street course. It'll be a historical venue in its own right. This will be NASCAR's first race on a naval base. The race weekend will mark the 250th anniversary of the U.S. Navy. What a special way to celebrate 250th anniversary of the Navy, 250th anniversary of our country, and put on what is going to be undoubtedly the most anticipated event of 2026. NASCAR Executive Vice President Ben Kennedy said in his statement, and I'm bullish on it being the best sporting event of the year. Again, this article a little bit lengthy. It was from Arden Ortley of USA Today. I'm going to open up the floor to our fans on the chat line. Jake, I'm going to pass the mic off to you. What do you think about San Diego?
No, I think it's cool. I'm behind. Like, I'm obviously not a street or road course guy, but I'm behind this whole race to base thing. I think it's going to be an absolutely phenomenal weekend. I guarantee, like, I think you're gonna see sweet car schemes. I think you're gonna see a huge attendance. I think you're gonna see a lot of viewers. Hopefully, it's on Amazon Prime. But
don't start that.
I think it's a great idea. I think they're doing a great job. I mean, if they're going to do this race to base, maybe we get lucky in our backyard in Horsham, we might be able to see one.
Ooh, I mean, that has been down for quite some time. I mean, they'll definitely be able to race that. I've been a big proponent of changing everything up on the street course. I wanted our street course event to be similar to the NFL draft, right? Go to a different city every single year. We did Chicago for 3 years because we were under contract. Well, next year, we're going into San Diego. I think that's going to be a great start to kind of inspire other cities to kind of step up to the plate and host the NASCAR street course race. The one concern I have, though, with this is that they will not be racing it on the 4th of July weekend. The date was announced that it's going to be on Father's Day 2026, I believe. If I'm not mistaken, I think it's June 19th, 20th, and 21st, I believe it is. That's the race date weekend. So to me, that kind of opens up my eyes. Where are we going on the 4th of July next year? I've heard rumors and rumblings that possibly Pocono might be the 4th of July race. God bless our livers if that happens. God bless our livers if that happens. But at the same time, that's all rumors. There's nothing confirmed with that just yet. So if Pocono is not the 4th of July race, where are we going with the 4th of July? Please do not put it at Chicagoland, please. I would have loved to seen this San Diego street course at the Navy base. Would have loved to seen it on the 4th of July. That would have been great. That would have been absolutely great. But again, I like how they're going to start. Hopefully this starts the rotation of different cities every single year. Because quite frankly, I loved the Chicago street course. I thought the aesthetics were absolutely beautiful. I thought the city was awesome. They embraced NASCAR like crazy. I just felt like that the street course kind of ran its course though. Mm-hmm. And quite frankly, when you have the same guy kind of win 2 out of the 3 races, it kind of gets stale after a little bit. But at the same time, I'm interested to see what happens in San Diego. And again, hopefully this starts that rotation I've been talking about now for the last couple of years. Again, as I said, my final statement on it, I'm now curious on what the 4th of July weekend is going to be for NASCAR. And I think a lot of people would love to see us go back to Daytona. I don't think it's going to go back to Daytona. I think Daytona likes being the last race of the regular season. I don't blame them. It creates chaos. It creates so much controversy going into the regular season.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. No, I mean, you know what actually would be a cool race to do that weekend? Take Darlington and put it on 4th of July.
I can't do that. I don't know. I can't do that. So I like the Southern 500 where it's at. I really
No,
do.
I get it, but like Darlington's
don't
such a
put.
popular race.
Yeah, that'd be a great. Listen, that'd be a great 4th of July race. I don't push it. Do not push it over to. Don't do that to those poor people. I mean, the Southern 500 is tradition. I mean, like I said, I mean, Pocono would be probably one of my most favorite.
Pocono would be awesome for us.
That'd be ideal. Oh my god,
for us, it'd be great.
I mean, how much Zin and beer do you think would go through that weekend?
I can't even keep a tally list yet.
I mean, I've already told somebody like probably 6 cases of Busch, probably 30 cases, there 30 tins of Zin probably that weekend. I mean,
yep.
I don't know. I mean, that would be a lot of fun.
If we got the weather like we did this year, yeah, we'd be drinking a lot.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, absolutely. Doug chimed in on the Born Engine chat line. He goes, is there any info on whether San Diego will be a downtown course or a more scenic course along the ocean? So it looks like right now from what NASCAR promoted, it looks like it's just going to basically be on the base. I mean, I don't know if it's going to be scenic.
That's all I read.
Yeah, I don't know.
Base.
But Ben Kennedy kind of came out and said that the course that was shown on the promotion video was not the actual finalized course. So I'm sure they're going to do something where it's going to be along the ocean and try to make it as scenic as possible with the city view in the background.
The
I'm not too
base
sure.
Is like right there. It's right on the ocean. So
it is. So I can't imagine the ocean not being part of the picture. I can't, and same with with the way the city's built too. I mean, the skyline's right along the ocean as well. Mm-hmm. So, but yeah, I mean, for right now, I mean, they still haven't finalized the configuration. They're still working on it, and that's been confirmed by Matt Weaver at Racing. I forget what network he's with, but multiple NASCAR sources have confirmed that they still haven't finalized what they promoted. So, all right, cool. Yeah, so NASCAR will be heading out to San Diego next year. I'm pretty excited about that.
Oh, I'm stoked.
Yeah, something different. All right, let's get into our Dover race discussion this week. First, what do you think about the race?
I watched on my phone for the majority of the time, but it was a good race. I mean, it's typical Dover. I mean, you got your rain in there, so you can't have Dover without rain.
Typical.
No, I think it was a great race. I mean, how do you talk about Dover in this perspective? I mean, it's not like Dover's a boring race. I mean, it's a typical concrete mile track.
Mm-hmm.
I think there was a lot of good racing from a handful of guys. Like, I'll use Larson, for example. Guy moved up to most positions in 20. What did we go up? 20 positions, I think.
Yeah.
But like, he's good at that track. I mean, I was really pushing for Kyle Busch. I mean, he was kind of just steady there the whole time. That's kind of the guy that I was watching the whole day. I kind of like put Larson in my back pocket. I was like, I'm watching Kyle Busch. I think Chase Elliott raced that race very, very well. It was really cool to see him out front. And you can't really dominate at Dover, but he had the command for a long time. Denny raced a really good race. And you have your typical cautions, your typical spinouts. It's just Dover.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, going back to what you're saying, I mean, typical Dover, right? I mean, thank God. I mean, kind of in a way, we didn't go down.
Yeah.
As you
been
said,
there late.
Yeah, as you said, I mean, it got its typical rain, right? We couldn't go without rain at Dover. I mean, I said it for years, right? I'm like, get it out of April, put it to, a better race date. And all of a sudden, guess what? They put it on a better race date in July. And guess what happens? Rain comes with 14 to go. Now, I thought NASCAR was a little foolish to get the remaining of the race back in. But they said, listen, we still have sunlight. It was just a passing shower. We're going to get the final 14 laps in. I'm sure there's a lot of teams, William Byron, for example, that's looking back at it and going, why the hell did you just not call this race? No, Gregson as well. Yeah. Gregson and William Byron both were on the verge of a top 10. Race ends up going green flag after the rainstorm. All of a sudden, both of them got caught up in a stupid wreck at the end of the race. So kind of ruined a great day and turned it into a bad day. So final stat line, all courtesy of NASCAR.com, coming out of Dover. Denny Hamlin ended up winning his 4th race of 2025, followed up by Chase Briscoe. Alex Bowman finished third. Kyle Larson finished fourth. Ty Gibbs finished fifth. Chase Elliott finished sixth. Bubba Wallace finished seventh. Ryan Blaney finished eighth. Chris Buescher finished ninth, and Brad Keselowski ended up finishing 10th. Your top 10 in stage one was Chase Elliott, first stage win in 2025. Christopher Bell finished second. Denny Hamlin finished third. William Byron finished fourth. Alex Bowman was fifth. Chase Briscoe was sixth. Ty Gibbs was seventh. Kyle Busch was eighth. Joey Logano was ninth, and Kyle Larson was 10th. That was your stage one. Your stage two was Christopher Bell, who won the stage, followed up by Alex Bowman, Denny Hamlin, Chase Elliott, Kyle Larson, William Byron, Chase Briscoe, Ty Gibbs, Ryan Blaney, and Bubba Wallace. Your final total
for Christopher Bell.
We're going to be talking about Bell in a second, but your final laps led coming out of the Monster Mile race leader of laps led this week was Chase Elliott at 238 laps, so he led more than 50% of the race. Denny Hamlin led 67, Chase Briscoe led 13, Alex Bowman led a lap, Bubba Wallace led 3, Christopher Bell led 67, Daniel Suarez led 6, Noah Gragson led 3, and Carson Hocevar led 8 laps coming out of the Monster Miles. So you talked about it. Christopher Bell. I know Denny Hamlin won the race, and we usually start off with the race winner. But let's talk about Christopher Bell for a second.
Dominant. Dude, he raced well all day. Dude, he spun, came back, and another guy that probably wished the race ended when the freaking rain hit.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, Christopher Bell finished 18th, by the way. And if the rain hit, he would have finished second.
Yep.
He would have finished second if they called that race. Christopher Bell to me had probably the weirdest day out of anybody. But going back to your point, and you said it best when you started this conversation off. Typical Dover.
Yeah.
What we have seen out of the next gen car with the aero blocking and the aerodynamics in this vehicle on that track and that surface and the disruption of air from these drivers is insane. And it needs to be studied because it's really costing drivers a lot of great opportunities when we go to Nashville Superspeedway, when we go to Bristol, and we go to Dover. This week, Christopher Bell, let's talk about it, coming out of the second stage. Chase Elliott, Christopher Bell led the field back to green. Chase Elliott was second. Chase Elliott didn't do anything wrong.
Nope.
They just got into basically a wind funnel, and it basically spun Christopher Bell. And it was like, okay, well, that's new. So all of a sudden, Bell had to go back down pit road, had to, get tires. They ended up looking at the car for damage. Everything was fine. Got back out onto the track. Ended up getting blessed by a late caution. Ended up having only 7 drivers on the lead lap. All of a sudden, he comes down pit road, gets 4 fresh Goodyear tires, ends up, basically running second behind Hamlin the whole time. Rain comes out, red flag, 14 laps to go, green flag drops again. And what happens? Same thing that happened earlier in the race. A wind tunnel, and it just spun Christopher Bell. And if I'm Christopher Bell, I'm like, what more can I have done? I didn't do anything wrong in these scenarios except for get spun out and all of a sudden have a good day go even worse.
Yeah. I mean, my memory could be wrong just from watching. Was it both? Wasn't it both of them happened in turn 1?
So the first Bell spin happened in turn 3.
3. And then the other one was in turn 1.
Turn 1, yeah. It was coming down this front stretch. Yeah, it was coming down the front stretch and then going into turn 1 when Bell spun. But again, though, what more can Christopher Bell have done? And it's like
there's nothing.
Nothing.
Because dude, even in the overtime, and they were talking about it on when they were the guys who were calling the race, they were like, watch out for Larson Elliott. They're the fastest cars and they're starting behind guys. And then look what happens when you get into turn 1. Those guys are fading back, and these guys, and they're like, where the hell did they go? Like, we have fresher tires and we're faster than them. Danny Hamlin was on old ass tires.
Yep.
And I was just like, Chris Buescher gave him a run for his money, but yeah, dude, we could talk for hours about this new generation car. It's junk. It's absolutely junk. And
Well,
they
it
need to do
just
more
got
studies on it. And this week showed like even if I'm the better car, I'm not the better car.
well, and it goes back exactly, and it goes back to back years, right? Back to back years at Dover. Your winner was Denny Hamlin. Not going to blame Denny Hamlin for doing anything wrong.
No.
Denny Hamlin did what he needed to do, but look what happened. Denny Hamlin aero blocked Kyle Larson for the last, I think, 30 laps last year. This year, I mean, Denny Hamlin did everything that he could to aero block Christopher Bell and Chase Briscoe at the end of the race. Denny Hamlin was on tires that were 51 laps worn out at that point. And I got to give credit where credit's due. Denny Hamlin's one of the masters of the sport where he ends up taking advantage of situations like that. But at the same time, when I look back on it, I just got to look and I got to go, well, was Denny Hamlin the best car or was he the best car at aero blocking? And I think that's what Dover has now become.
I don't think he was the best car when it came to the overtime starts.
So who do you think the best car was, though?
I think when that overtime started, Chase Elliott. I thought Chase Elliott was going to jump big, but the biggest problem was on the second overtime, he should have went behind Larson as a teammate, but he went high. And even on the first one, he did too, and Blaney came right behind him. So I was like, okay, with him having Blaney behind him, Blaney's going to push him. And it was a horrible restart for both of them.
Yeah.
And Larson both times didn't have a good start because he didn't have no push.
Yep.
So when you have two Joe Gibbs racing cars side by side going, I mean, Chris Buescher did what only thing that you could do as a teammate. You're not going to pass him because he's, like you said, that he went below him. They're gone. You know, I mean, I don't think there was anything anybody could have done to get around Denny Hamlin on those overtime restarts. I just don't.
Well, and I totally agree with that. And I think that the only one to me at the end of the race that probably had an opportunity was Chase Briscoe. I think Briscoe,
yeah, he was being a teammate. I think he got nervous at the end.
He was being a teammate. And again, you heard the end of the interview at the end of the race. You heard the interview with him, basically saying he's like, "Listen, I'd rather have Joe Gibbs Racing equipment win get in the victory lane than both of us wrecking." So, Denny Hamlin should be thanking Chase Briscoe for that.
Oh yeah.
Any other driver, if any other driver was in the lead, Chase Briscoe would have went for the win. Briscoe would have went for the win.
And another thing, you think about it, like you put just because they battle each other so hard, you put a Kyle Larson where Chris Buescher was. No way he's letting Denny get a win like that.
No
way.
No way. I mean, and like I said, I mean, I'm not gonna hate on Denny Hamlin for winning this race. And I think a lot of people are listening to us that are like, well, he did what he needed to do to win. No, you're 100% right. I'm not going to disagree with you whatsoever on that. He did the right thing. And listen, this is lessons I learned from last year. He knew for a fact that he could aero block, and he knew that he was going to be able to get it. Now, the one after the race was over, I'm sitting there texting a couple people, and I'm going. I kept asking the question, "What if? What if for Chase Elliott?" You saw Hamlin, which was basically you were in front of on that last green flag pit stop before the caution. Hamlin ended up going out on the gamble, staying out on old tires. Chase Elliott ends up going. Alan Gustafson and Chase Elliott basically go, well, we need to match the 20, so we're going to come down here for 2 right side tires. All of a sudden, Chase Elliott's restarting third. He ends up getting caught in the crosswinds of Austin Dillon. Nothing Austin Dillon did wrong. Him and Austin Dillon were basically side by side, basically side drafting each other around the track. Ends up opening intervals up to 2.25 seconds.
Mm-hmm.
You're not going to beat Denny Hamlin doing that.
No.
So so not just should Denny Hamlin be thanking himself for the gamble and the aero blocking, Denny Hamlin should be thanking Alan Gustafson for being an idiot once again.
Yeah, I didn't understand that when I saw him go for 2 tires. I'm like, why?
Why? I mean, well, that's the whole thing too. Like you're saying, oh, we're trying to match the 20. We're trying to match the 20. The 20 had 4 fresh Goodyear tires on that car,
and he still went sideways.
Yeah, exactly. But the other thing too is that you put 2 right side tires on. What was that going to do?
No, nothing.
You had a terrible restart. You end up getting side drafting with Austin Dillon for majority of the like what was it, almost close to like 15 laps. It was the same nonsense that happened with him and Daniel Suarez at the end of stage 1.
Yeah,
Chase I'm going to be honest with you. I was massively disappointed with how such a great day and dominating day that Chase Elliott had. That was like, I was sitting there going, I'm like, oh my God, Chase Elliott's back.
yeah.
And then all of a sudden, nope, got to turn it over to Alan Gustafson once again, making a stupid call and all that type of stuff. So the point is that Alan Gustafson in the 9 should have been like, you know what? Denny's staying out. That's your competition. You got to stay ahead of the 11. You have to stay ahead of the 11 because Dover has now turned into a rear view mirror track and aero blocking.
Mm-hmm.
And Chase Elliott could have gotten it done. Chase Elliott could have gotten it done because when Denny got caught up in dirty air, we saw it all race. When he got caught up behind Ty Dillon in some of those earlier laps, when he got caught up behind Christopher Bell, Denny Hamlin could not pass. Chase Elliott would have had the upper hand on that. But instead they came down and they gave Denny Hamlin basically the win.
Yep.
Talking about Denny Hamlin, as I said before, Hamlin wins his 4th race of the season. Right now he's got an average finish according to NASCAR.com in 20 races. Average finish of 13 flat, 554 laps led, 10 top 5s, 11 top 10s, 4 wins, and 3 DNFs. So, I mean, in regards to Hamlin, it's tough for me to continue saying this. Is this going to be the year that he wins the championship?
I will sit on the edge of my bed every single night praying that doesn't happen.
You guys would absolutely. I don't know if I'd be tolerable if he wins that championship. I really don't.
I won't sleep well that night. I'll tell you that.
I know you won't. Actually, interesting question just came in, so I was reading the chat line. Doug, once again, he chimes in. Do you guys have an opinion on the current situation related to the charters and the judge's decision to say 23XI and Front Row Motorsports no longer covered by their charters, which expired and are open teams? So, Jake, we kind of talked about this in the pre-show. It's a
great point because talking about Denny.
It's a great question.
Denny was the one who kind of took the bull by the horns on this one.
Yeah.
I mean, at the end of the day, you had a date from when your charter expired,
Mm-hmm.
And you know that date. And if you're an owner of a team, you have that date circled on your calendar for 5 years out, however long it is. I know that 23XI and Denny Hamlin were big on, we're going to go up against NASCAR. We're going to put an end to this. We're going to make a statement, which I don't mind that. I don't. But at the end of the day, it's in fine writing from NASCAR. You flop on that, over. You missed the deadline. And now technically, NASCAR can take them charters and sell them. Because they don't own them.
Yeah, I mean...
Will NASCAR do that? Probably not.
Mm-hmm.
NASCAR isn't like that. But I don't think NASCAR is going in the right direction with this whole charter thing. I think they're just trying to be this bully. We own this. We make the rules. This is a big word to use, but it's turning into a monopoly.
Yeah.
Like you can't run a sport like this, man, and have people that want to continue to watch, guys you want to continue to fork out millions to buy a number and put a car out on the track. Like, you're just going to lose interest in people. NASCAR's got to take a step back. They really, really do. I get it. It's their rules. 23XI flopped on their date. I can sell these charters now. I own them.
Mm-hmm.
And who knows what comes out from it. I mean, it's a shitty situation, and it's very touchy to talk on. And everybody's going to have a different opinion. But, I mean, it's really all I really have on it. I mean, I'm not happy about it, but.
Yeah, I right now, they're NASCAR and both these charters are basically playing who has the biggest deck contest right now. Right? That's what it comes down to. So they're open cars. They were open car last weekend. They're open car this weekend. They don't get as much of the prize pool as other teams, which absolutely will kill them in the long run. I said this since the offseason. I thought that NASCAR going up against Michael Jordan was the worst thing that they could ever do, because Michael has all these lawyers in regards to merchandise sales, all that type of stuff. Well, NASCAR is basically saying, no. We know who Michael Jordan is, but we're bigger than Michael Jordan. But going back to your point, it's going to turn people off. It's absolutely going to turn people off. Why would you want to sit there and like, and 23XI is a very, let's call it as is. I mean, I know front row is kind of front. We'll talk about front row in a second, but 23XI is a very competitive team. But, Bubba Wallace and Tyler Reddick are both right now in the playoffs. Tyler Reddick was in the Final Four. What's interesting is that Tyler Reddick has a contract that if his team is not a charter team, he is able to walk at the end of this season. So this could really impact 23XI if they don't get this resolved in regards to they could lose Tyler Reddick. And from what I've heard and rumors going down in Charlotte, there may be some big rides coming up that could be open that he can go to and be very competitive with. In regards to Front Row Motorsports and why I said let's hold off on them for a second, Front Row Motorsports is a very young organization. They are growing. Gregson, Todd Gilliland, and Zane Smith are all very young drivers. Gregson has actually, in my opinion, kind of been a little bit of a disappointment. Yeah. Todd Gilliland, to me, is really effective on super speedways. He's still a good driver. Zane Smith's actually been growing a lot this season. Mm-hmm. For an organization that doesn't have as high funding, like a 23XI or, Joe Gibbs Racing and all these teams, like this is the worst case scenario. You win a race and you only gain, I don't know what the percentage is, but I'm throwing it off the top of my head. I think it's like 70% of the winnings. That's massive. I mean, you could build a whole new chassis shop with that prize money if you win one of these races. How are young organizations supposed to grow? And this is where NASCAR...
I think this is NASCAR being a bully.
And this is exactly, and that's what I was going to say. This is where NASCAR's got to stop their bullshit and realize that, hey, in order to grow the sport, I know that, both these teams didn't go against our rules and regulations and all that type of stuff, but why in the world would you sit there and penalize them the way that you are? Now, granted, the court hearing, they basically said that, they got to get it resolved. Both charters basically asked for another, extended period of time but the court basically said, no, this is done. There was a new rule added, though, this past week by NASCAR that 40 teams now are, quote unquote, the field.
Yeah, so 23XI is good for this week.
So you should be safe. Both organizations should be safe in regards to qualifying. But God forbid there's a 42-car entry, and God forbid like Zane Smith crashes in qualifying. Front Row Motorsports is not guaranteed a starting spot at that point. It's ugly. It's very ugly.
Go to Pocono when Bubba couldn't even qualify because he couldn't get the car started.
Yeah,
you're not racing on Sunday, dude. Like that's a lot of money wasted for that team. A lot of money.
Absolutely, a lot of money, and that's why I'm saying they're playing with fire. I mean, again, I thought Michael would be able to overcome this nonsense from NASCAR. I really did because of all this lawyers and sponsorships. And again, let's call it as is. It's Michael Jordan. Mm-hmm. But at the same time, NASCAR is the monster in the room. It's the Loch Ness Monster. They're basically saying, I don't care who you are. I'm going to stop you from, making my sport a mockery. But again, though, as fans, our age demographic, right? Think about it. Our age demographic, they're not really into NASCAR. They're more into Formula One right now. People have become NASCAR fans because they're like, oh, wow, Michael Jordan owns a team. Cool. Let me just tune in and follow them. This is going to be very difficult if they don't qualify for races because then what are those fans supposed to do? Okay, well, my team's not in the race. What am I going to do?
Not turn it on Sunday.
Yeah, I'm not going to turn it on Sunday. I mean, and that's all. And that's how a lot of fans act. Once their driver crashes, yep, race is over, turn it off. It's going to be messy. I know there was a massive conspiracy theory from Dover that someone brought it up that NASCAR only ran the last 14 laps in hopes that Denny Hamlin didn't win the race because he's in a fight with NASCAR right now. I don't know how accurate that is, but
I mean, Denny Hamlin just gave him the bird right back.
Yeah, they basically gave him the bird, and I felt bad for Denny because it's like, damn, it's like as soon as the race was over, they didn't even ask him about the win. They asked him about his charter right away. So that was a great question. Thanks, Doug, for getting us that question on the board. Let's jump back into Dover, Jake. We talked a little bit about Chase Elliott. And again, to me, Chase Elliott really, they screwed that up really bad this past week. They should, I'm going to use the famous expression, which came from Dover. He should have won the race. Yep. He should have won the race. Two-tire strategy definitely wasn't going to cut it to compete against the 20. I feel like once Denny ended up winning that race. I think the 9 team out, they got to look at the data again, and they basically have to say, yeah, that was a mistake on us. We can never do that again. We're
There's
not going to
no
match
need
it.
to pit.
No need to pit. No need to pit. I mean, you're basically in front of the 11. If you don't pit, you control the dynamics in the car. But for all the Chase Elliott fans that basically walked away from Dover, very disappointed, aka myself, Chase Elliott has been on an absolute tear the last 5 weeks.
Yep.
And according to our friends over at NASCAR First Alert, they ran some data for us. Right now, over the last 5 races, the average running position in the last 5 races, right now, your driver of the number 9 is leading that category with a 9.31 average position over the last 5 races. It is no fluke that Chase Elliott is now your points leader. It is no fluke that Chase Elliott, this speed is real. And I'm going to be honest with you. I think the last 2 weeks, if I'm looking at the 9, I think the 9 was the best car the last 2 weeks at the end of the race. I think he was the better car at Sonoma. He ended up getting caught up in dirt on the fresh tires. I think he would have captured Shane Van Gisbergen at the end of that race. I mean, it might have been a photo finish, but I think he would have gotten there. This past week, if Alan Gustafson didn't have a brain fart and just left him on the track because he realized, oh, my driver is probably the most dominant driver of the day, he probably walks away and he does the aero blocking towards Denny Hamlin. Chase Elliott, I'm interested to see what happens over the next couple weeks, right? Over the last couple of years going into the playoffs, this is the time of the year that we start seeing drivers rise, champions emerging, right? 2024, we saw Joey Logano. Logano went at Nashville. He had a good summer, went into the playoffs, won a couple races, ended up winning his 3rd championship. The year before, we saw Truex kind of get hot in that summer stretch. Now, granted, faded in the playoffs. Chase Elliott, same thing in 2022, faded in the playoffs. This right now, to me, I'm keeping an eye on because I want to see the last 5 weeks have been excellent from the 9. And after the Atlanta win, Adam Alexander said it on the broadcast. He said, did the sleeping giant finally wake up? I said after Atlanta, let's pump the brakes a little bit. The win is nice, but I need to see a couple more wins. But I cannot deny the speed from the 9. And if he continues putting up these results, there may be a couple wins coming up in the near future.
Oh, yeah, for sure. I mean, he's been racing phenomenal. I mean, if he didn't take that pit, I agree with you. If he didn't pit, more than likely he would have won that race.
Yeah, I mean, and again, it comes back down. I mean, and I think any team, and I know people on air are probably tired of hearing me say this, but Dover has become an aero blocking track. That's all it's become. It's become aero blocking. If you have the lead, you're pretty much safe at that point late in the race because you can rear view drive, you can aero block, which Denny Hamlin did the last 2 years. Now, the next couple of weeks are going to be interesting. We have Indy, we have Iowa, and we have Watkins Glen. So I don't know if there's going to be a lot of aero block. Maybe Indy, maybe
Iowa. I feel like Indy. You got to know how to do it.
Yeah, I agree with you on that. I agree. I mean, it's high speed, but I don't think you're going to be able to aero block in Indy as well as the Indy cars do. But Iowa, you're not going to get away with it. Watkins Glen, you're going to need to have talent, and then you have Richmond and Daytona. So, I mean, those are your next 5 weeks. So it's going to be interesting. Like I said, the last 5 weeks, the 9 has been incredibly fast, and the positions have showed. Now, if they can just qualify that car, like they did this, well, the Formula qualified it, but if he gets in, top 5 qualifying position, I mean, Chase Elliott may be running away with a race in the near future. What's interesting,
he could do it next week. He could do it this week.
Yeah, he could. He had a good qualifying effort last year, and he had a stupid penalty coming out of pit road last year in that race, which killed his day. Other drivers on the list that I just mentioned about Chase Elliott, Ty Gibbs over the last 5 weeks is number 2 in average position at 9.71. Chase Briscoe is driver number 3 at 11.44. Driver number 4 is Alex Bowman, who's kind of waking up a little bit. He's got an 11.98 average position over the last 5 races. And at number 5 is Tyler Reddick at 12.60 over the last 5 races. So a couple drivers on the bubble too. Ty Gibbs, Alex Bowman, Tyler Reddick. They're coming up with a lot of speed lately. It's going to be difficult to keep these guys out of the playoffs. Next driver up that I want to talk about coming out of Dover, Kyle Larson, your boy. Last week, I kind of told Larson fans, hey, seat's getting a little hot. The seat is getting a little hot. But this past week at Dover, he had a good week.
Oh yeah, no, he had a phenomenal week. I mean, he unfortunately had to start 25th. Couldn't do anything to prevent it. Whatever. Drove through the field all day. Finished fourth. I mean, I don't really think that he had a chance to win it, but would have been awesome to see him door fucking down into the wall. Would have been awesome. Um, but no, I think he raced good. I mean, I know coming into this race, I mean, I know a lot of people don't watch it. I watch it. I watch it on Thursday. He had won the jackpot high limits race out in Ohio, so he's coming. I think he was coming in with full head of steam. So I think you're going to see him race a phenomenal race this weekend. I mean, this guy has spent a lot of time in Indy, so there's no excuse. I mean, unless he puts a car in a wall. I mean, it's just typical for him in Indy. But I think you're going to see him up there all day on Sunday, so he should qualify top 5.
Yeah, I mean, you said it. And like I even said it last week. I mean, Larson since Charlotte has been kind of the enigma, right?
Mm-hmm.
We're not used to Kyle Larson racing this bad.
No.
Since Charlotte, finished 37th at the Coke 600, 8th in Nashville, 5th in Michigan. Okay, Kyle Larson finishes. 30th in Mexico City, way off. 7th at Pocono, we were there. Never a factor. Pit road strategy got him up into the front of the pack.
Yes.
17th at Atlanta, 13th at Chicago. Sonoma, he finished 35th with the wreck with Blaney. And then this week at Dover, he finished 4th.
Yep.
When he did the double, something happened. When he wrecked out of Indy and then he wrecked at Charlotte. Something happened with him internally. And to me, I think the best thing that could have happened to him was winning the race on Thursday.
Oh,
because
yeah,
it brought his confidence back up going, no, I'm Kyle fucking Larson. I can win this race. I can win races again. I can do this. And yes, as you said, started 25th on Sunday due to COVID calculation formula for the rainouts. Drove through the field. I mean, he was there at the end. I mean, he really was. I mean, unfortunately, his tires were worn out where he couldn't get to Denny Hamlin, where Chase Briscoe could have. But like I said, I mean, this 4th place finish at Dover and what he did on Thursday, if you're Kyle Larson and you're a fan of Kyle Larson, you got to be thinking, hey, you know what? Like, maybe we got our swag back a little bit. We're going to Indy. We had a terrible 500 back in May. Go out there and win this race.
Yeah, I mean, and look at it last year. He wrecked out of Indy. So, I mean, he didn't wreck out of Indy. He finished Indy, but he didn't have the greatest of a race. What did he finish? 17th?
17th, I think.
Yeah, I think he had a penalty that fucked him. But, no, I mean, if you're Kyle Larson and you're a fan like I am, you're going to Indy like you got a good head on your shoulders. You're comfortable this week. This track is very comfortable for you. You know it very well. And coming off a 4th place finish in Dover, I mean, he's going to be. I mean, at the end of the day, yes, he's in the playoffs. He's leading the playoff points by 1 now. But I agree with you about this whole Indy Charlotte thing this past year. I really think that he feels like he let a lot of people down. He let himself down. He didn't live up to the expectations that people were looking at. And it sucks. It is what it is. And I personally think the era of Larson doing the double's done. They put the money into it. They tried it. Yeah, and he did say that he's done. He tried it. I think he's the only guy right now that I would think that could do it. Maybe 5 years ago, I'd say maybe put Kyle Busch in one, but not anymore.
Yeah.
But it's like, you tried it. It is what it is. I think he was very disappointed and down on himself after Charlotte and Indy, but we're moving forward. Kyle Larson's Kyle Larson, man. And that Thursday race, when I watched that win, and that guy talking, not kid, he's older than me. That guy talking in pit road and victory lane, he's gunning. He's young money, man.
Yeah. And kind of going back to the chart we were talking about with like Chase Elliott and those top 5 drivers, Kyle Larson, for how bad he's been over the last 5 weeks, quote unquote bad, right? Right now he's ranked 7th over the last 5 weeks in average position in the last 5 races with a 13.70. So it's not what we're used to seeing with Kyle Larson. But hey, sometimes the summer just beats you up. And and again, doing the double with all the work they put in at Indy, with all the work they put in at Charlotte, wrecking out both races definitely dampened his mood. You could definitely tell he hasn't been the same. But hey, look, all you need is just momentum. And I think that's where we're at with Kyle Larson. That 4th place finish at Dover, he realized, hey, look, I can not just win races on dirt still, I can also, run through the field like I used to be able to. Like I said, I was a little disappointed what I saw out of him at Sonoma because he's usually really good at Sonoma.
He is.
Qualified really bad. I mean, he just qualified terrible, and his car was nothing like his teammate Chase Elliott and the others, which put him in a bad position at the end of that race. So, like I said, in regards to Kyle Larson, Larson fans, I think you guys should be happy with what you saw on Sunday. For
and you're going to 2 tracks that he's good at. He's good at Indy and he's good at Iowa.
Yep, exactly. So, I mean, for me, like I said, I like the 5 coming up the next couple of weeks. I think we're going to see a lot more Kyle Larson over the next 5 weeks. So, and according to NASCAR.com, in the last 21 races, Kyle Larson right now, his average finish 13.3, 10 top 5s, 13 top 10s, 3 wins as well with 2 DNFs. So, final point coming out of Dover. The in-season challenge is almost over. And we have our championship matchup and after Dover. The little engine that could, Ty Dillon. He made it, folks. He'll be facing Ty Gibbs. So Gibbs last week at Dover beat Tyler Reddick, and Ty Dillon last week beat John Hunter Nemechek in the in-season bracket. So Ty Dillon against Ty Gibbs. Jake, who do you like?
Ty Gibbs, especially because it's an Indy.
Unfortunately,
I think it's a tie versus tie. I think the end of the race interview when they were up there together was freaking awesome.
That was awesome, yeah.
But nah, Ty Gibbs. I think Ty Gibbs will race very well this weekend. Ty Dillon, if we were racing at a go-kart track, I'd pick him, but we're going to go with Ty Gibbs.
I'm riding Ty Dillon. Ty Dillon. I've said this for a long time. When he knocked out Denny, I said the little engine that could. Then he beat Brad at Chicago. Alex Bowman, he beat by a couple positions at Sonoma. Ends up knocking out Bowman, and then rides this wave all the way to the championship rate or the championship of the tournament. What can you say? I mean, I'm all for underdogs, and I think that this tournament's been fun. It really has, awesome. And it's been an awesome idea. I like it a lot. I'm rolling with Ty Dillon. I'm going with Ty Dillon this week.
Could you imagine a 32nd ranked person wins?
Yeah. Well, that's like the only thing I don't like about Ty Dillon winning it, right? Because I anticipate and I expect Ty Gibbs to at least win one race this year. I do. Ty Dillon, I don't expect to win a race at all.
No,
I'd be stunned if he won a race this year. Maybe Daytona, maybe, but I'd be stunned if Ty Dillon ended up winning a race in 2025. It will be very difficult to go, hey, our in-season tournament champion is Ty Dillon. Oh, by the way, folks, he didn't win a race at all this year. He just finished above his competitors all through the tournament.
He won $1 million.
Well, that's what I'm saying. So his first 2 matchups were Denny Hamlin and Brad Keselowski. Well, Hamlin wrecked at Atlanta. Keselowski wrecks at Chicago. He actually beat Bowman. He actually beat John Hunter Nemechek. Both cars were down a lap. I mean, it's like I'm sitting there tuned in to cars that are down like a lap that are running in 25th to 27th, and I'm like, what? Like this is for our championship in the in-season tournament.
Yep.
I'm going with Ty Dillon. All
right. I'll be happy either or.
Yeah, I'd be fine with that. They're going to be, and
I know for a fact they're both going to be looking in their rearview mirror. Where is this guy? They're going to be asking their crew chief, where is this guy at? Where do I got to
go? Doug chimed in. He goes, old Richard will choke on dinner when his grandson he has Sean wins the $1 million. That's pretty accurate. Speaking of that, before we get to the final standings, I don't know if you heard the in-car camera or the in-car radio from Kyle Busch after the race this week. Kyle finished 11th, and Richard Childress went on air and basically said, we need to be better. We need to have better cars to win these races and all that type of stuff. I know a lot of people are going, well, that's very controversial because you're ripping the engineers and all that. I don't think it's controversial. You have Kyle Busch who's running like mid pack at this point. I think it's Richard Childress knowing, like, hey, if we don't start winning races, I'm going to lose one of the best drivers in the garage.
I got a simple answer. I got a simple solution for that. And I talked to my fiance about this because she's a huge Kyle Busch fan. Stop putting all your money and effort into your fucking nephew and put into a guy who's won a championship and knows how to win races. Not a guy who wins a race last year by taking somebody out doesn't even count it as a win. You can't even be in the playoffs. Stop putting your money into the wrong people, and you will win races. I'm telling you this right now.
I know. It's listen. I think a lot of people on air, and a lot of people that listen to us, and a lot of people all over the place know this. Richard Childress is handicapped because he's honestly constantly trying to make Austin Dillon a superstar. Austin Dillon is 35 years old. He is not a superstar. He is I don't even know what to classify him as. He's won races. I mean, and I'm not talking about Richmond last year, but he's actually won races legit. But he's nothing better than a super speedway ace at this point. And maybe once in a blue moon comes out. He's basically this era's Sterling Marlin. That's what he is. Yeah. You're not going to build a franchise around it. I agree with you. I mean, they're so focused on making Austin Dillon a superstar that they've neglected one of the best drivers of all time. And have made him basically one of the guy's fighting for his playoff life in Kyle Busch. And everyone's like, well, Kyle, now you have announcers the last 2 years going, oh, well, Kyle Busch had a great day. What does that even mean? At one point, Kyle Busch was like the king of NASCAR. I mean, the dude literally was putting cars in victory lane left and right. And what do you see now is you see a guy who's running 15th. Oh, well, Kyle Busch got to keep his head on straight because that's a good fan. That's not good for Kyle Busch.
Not for Kyle Busch. No.
Not for Kyle. I don't care how late in his career he is at this point. He's only 40 years old.
That guy's used to having 10 top fives a year.
10. I mean, it's almost 15.
15,
top
yeah.
Yeah.
A year. He's lucky to get a top 15.
Even in his quote-unquote worst days at Joe Gibbs Racing. Even in his worst days at Joe Gibbs Racing, he was still putting the car in the top 5 and top 10. And he goes over to Joe Gibbs Racing. I called it the Redemption Tour, or Richard Childress Racing, excuse me. Called it the Redemption Tour in 2023. He won 3 races out of the gate, and we haven't seen him in victory lane since Gateway. Yeah. I mean, Gateway 2023. I mean, that's almost 2 years ago. 2 years ago, we haven't seen Kyle Busch. It's because we continue seeing the money being put into Austin Dillon and the ECR engines. What does that even mean? Trackhouse Racing's got ECR engines. They're winning with their own. They're winning with Richard Childress Racing engines. It's a joke. It's a joke.
It's a shame, man.
In regards to Richard Childress going, we need to have better cars. We need to sit there and we need to do better and all that type of stuff. Well, here's step one. Look in the mirror. Look in the mirror. You had Andy Petrie running that organization as a joke for years. Now I think you have Justin Alexander run the organization, and that was a former Austin Dillon crew chief. So where do you think the money and the efforts are going? To the 3, who's going to be running 26th? Anyways,
get him out of the car.
I would love to get him out of the car. I would.
Get him out of the car. But you're like. The thing is I honestly think Kyle Busch was like last year. His pit road fucked him a lot. I will tell you that. And I think this year it's been a 1,000 times better. He's not losing tires. He's not having 13-second pit stops. Like the team got better, but it's like when he has no teammates to help him. Because they're like way back there and he's looking in his rear view to see where they are and they're 14 positions behind. You're not going to fluctuate through a pack.
No.
Like the biggest thing that really like I used to hate Kyle Busch. I used to hate him. And then when he signed with RCR, I was like, I'm a fan. I'm a fan.
Me too.
Guys going to a team to win a championship one more time. And they fuck them.
Yeah. The sad part is, too, it's got one of the best crew chiefs in NASCAR, Randall Burnett.
Yes.
And it's got one of the best crew chiefs in NASCAR, and they're just a mid-pack team. So
I wish I could listen to that freaking driver crew chief talk between him and the crew chief
he's
every
quiet. I
freaking
mean, it's
week.
on HBO Max. I usually
He's
tune it
been
on.
quiet
He's been
recently.
quiet. Yeah, he's not been old Kyle Busch, which
I think
to
he's
me,
just at the point that he's like, this is what it is.
yeah, I mean, I would be interested to see him leave RCR, and I would love to see him go back to Jacobs Racing, but that's not going to happen. But all right, speaking of points, Jake, let's go into our point standings coming out of Dover, going into Indy. As we mentioned earlier in the show, new leader in the clubhouse at top of the points board. Chase Elliott is now your points leader, followed up by William Byron, who's sitting in second. Kyle Larson's third. Denny Hamlin's fourth. Tyler Reddick's fifth. Christopher Bell's sixth. Ryan Blaney seventh. Chase Briscoe's eighth. Alex Bowman's ninth. Chris Buescher is 10th. 11th is Joey Logano. 12th is Ross Chastain. 13th is Bubba Wallace. 14th is Ryan Preece. 15th is Kyle Busch. 16th is Ty Gibbs. So Preece, Busch, and Gibbs would be eliminated from the playoffs if the playoffs started today, because Austin Cindric, Josh Berry, and Shane Van Gisbergen have all won races. So if the playoffs, in the playoff format, it would be SVG, Josh Berry, Austin Cindric. They would be knocking out Ryan Preece, Kyle Busch, and Ty Gibbs, which sucks too, because if Preece doesn't win a race, I mean, this might be a season, in my opinion, that may go to the wayside. And we do have a comment on our chat line about the playoff system. And again, it's Doug checking in. He goes, "Do you guys have an opinion on the current situation?" Or I'm sorry, whoops, wrong one. He mentioned. Give me a second. If I can pull it up. Anyways, if it's not up, sorry about that. He did mention, how do you guys feel about the current standings? Who is on the outside that you feel can get into the playoffs? So in regards to the current standings, in the playoff standings, I mean, I just feel like it is at what it is at this point in regards to the playoff standings. I think it's silly. You talked about earlier in the show, Jake, that SVG can win 3, maybe 4 road course races and not be a factor in the playoffs. And then I guess the driver for me, who's on the outside that can get into the playoffs, well, I just mentioned it, Ryan Preece. I think Preece is the driver that could get into the playoffs. I think Preece ends up coming away with a win as well.
I mean, if it comes down to 15, I think Tyler Reddick gets in without a win. I mean, unless
I agree.
16 drivers win, and he's not one of them. The thing is, man, and like I know we just talked about it, but like Kyle Busch, he was 106 points back 4 weeks ago.
Yeah.
I mean, if he keeps pushing and keeps going and gets these and starts getting these top 10 finishes and these guys that are above him finish at the wayside. But I mean, I can't argue with the Ryan Preece. I mean, he's been pretty consistent.
Yeah.
I think it's a stupid method, to be honest with you. I don't think it should go off wins. I think it should go off points.
Yeah.
I don't like this win and you're in shit.
I've said this last year, and it was when Austin Dillon and Harrison Burton won.
Yeah.
I'm fine. Listen, if you win a race, I think a win trumps basically, being consistent. I do. But I also have Harrison Burton last year when he won at Daytona was 32nd in the points. Austin Dillon, when he won Richmond, even though it got rescinded, at the time he won Richmond, I think it was 28th in the points. I think that in order to be eligible for that win and in scenario, I think that you need to be currently 20th or higher in the points. It gives you consistency, and it also gives you the weight of a win.
Mm-hmm.
For me, if you're not 20th or higher in the points, like, you're not a real threat. So if I were to use that, theory in the principle in today's NASCAR, right now, Josh Berry and Shane Van Gisbergen would not be in the playoffs. Berry right now sits 22nd in the points. SVG's 26th in the points. I don't know. I mean,
right there.
When Berry ended up winning at Vegas, I thought that I was like, wow, okay, like Josh Berry is a good driver, and he is. Don't get me wrong, he is. But Josh Berry has fallen off of a cliff since that win at Vegas, and that's where I'm kind of like, is he going to be a real threat when we go to Darlington? When we go to He was good at Darlington back in the spring, but is he going to be a threat to Southern 500? Because that's an additional 100 miles of the race. Is he going to be a threat at Gateway? Is he going to be a threat in New Hampshire? Probably not.
No.
SVG's not. So you may already have automatic outs going into, unless the whole field wrecks, which this year we don't have a super speedway. So I don't think, I personally do not think that either driver is going to be a threat at all. So right now there's already 2 automatic outs. That's where it's like, I look at a guy like Ryan Preece Preece doesn't have the win yet. But at the same time, Preece is also putting the car within the top 15 nearly every single week. Like I said, I'm fine with winning in, but I would want to see the point standings that if you win a race, you have to still be 20th or higher in the points.
Correct.
Yes, your win weighs a lot, but at the same time, like SVG's got 3 wins, and we're talking about him being an automatic out in the first round.
Yeah, he's going to be.
He's going to be, unless he escapes it, because there's wrecks or engine problems and all that type of stuff. And again, if he makes it to the round of 12, you have Coda, so he may end up making the round of 8. But it's the same thing as Harrison Burton. Like last year with Harrison Burton when he made the playoffs after winning Daytona, okay, there was a path for him to the round of 8. He had to win Atlanta. He had to win Talladega, which he didn't do either one of.
Mm-hmm.
So I would prefer to see them go, yes, winning in is great. We still value it, but you need to be at the end of the season. If you're below 20th in the points, you're not making the playoffs.
And dude, like you have 3 wins, and what would you say? He's in 26th in points.
SVJ, yeah.
Like that right there shows you, like, when we get to the Final Four, we're gonna race on some pretty tough tracks. Yeah, we don't have a chance. No, because you're not gonna win at Phoenix.
No, you're not.
You're not. Yeah, so you're taking somebody who should be in that championship who outraced you all year besides the 3 wins you had, maybe 4, like you said, and you take them out of it because, you slipped through. I'm not taking anything away from SVG and his talent that he has. I think he's a great guy. I think he's a great driver and a great racer, but you're making it unfair to people who are like, I know I'm better than you at these tracks, and I finish time and time again better than you.
Yeah, I agree. And no, do I want the old Winston Cup standings back? Absolutely not. I don't. All 36 races didn't count. I mean, for God's sakes, the one year we crowned Matt Kenseth the champion in 2003 at Rockingham, they still had to run Homestead. Yeah. Like, if you're a fan of the sport, why are you going to Homestead? Like, why are you even watching
the race?
Yeah, what are you watching a championship? So that's why I don't want the old Winston standings, but I'm fine with the change. I am fine with the change. Yeah. I'm also fine with possibly they're talking about rumors where there only might be 9 playoff races next year, where the championship round, quote unquote, is actually 3 races, not a championship overall round. Which I'm okay with as well, because it's like, all right, now we're counting in consistency, we're counting in wins, all that type of stuff. So.
I mean, you go to Phoenix, man, and you're in the Final Four. You have one bad day, you're done. I got to race my best race. I'm in the Final Four. I got to race the best race of of all season.
How many
3 races would be cool.
How many championships have we seen kind of blown apart with this one race championship round? Right? I mean, Chase Elliott in 2022 ends up getting wrecked by Ross Chastain, got knocked out of the champion. I mean, and he had a car. He had a car to win that race, but ends up getting. But like you said, it's one bad race, and boom, you're done. So, yeah. But that would be my change. If you're not 20th or higher in the points, even though you have wins, you're not in the playoffs. I'm sorry.
I mean, good point right there. Back in the day, points racing, the champ averages. I mean, yeah, it's true. You had dominant. You had a handful of dominant racers back in the day. Other guys are just riding around and ride around.
I mean, I totally agree with that. I mean, the average finish of a champion was a lot higher than what it is now. Like, Logano won the championship last year with this, I forget what the average was. I think it was 17. I forget.
Yeah, it was bullshit.
Yeah, but back then it was like, okay, you had an average finish of 8th. Yeah, you were legit. You were running top 10 nearly every. I mean, for God's sakes, Mark Martin lost a championship multiple times, and the dude was running top 5, nearly 26 out of the 36 races. I mean. That's where I guess it's all sports in general. I know we're going off topic before we go to Indy, but all sports in general. I was talking to someone this past week about it, baseball. when you watch the All-Star game the other day or last week.
Mhm.
The All-Star game, it's like, this guy's an All-Star. His batting average is like 260. What do you mean he's an All-Star? Like 20 years ago, Ichiro was an All-Star with a 351 batting average. That's an All-Star to me.
Yes.
But it's the same thing with NASCAR. I mean, like right now, Chase Elliott's the points leader, and he's got a 10 flat average finish, and that's great.
That's a championship caliber driver.
Yeah, the championship caliber driver. Back then, no. If you were not finishing, not even close. I do miss. That's the one thing I do miss from back in that era was if you wanted to be a champion, you had to finish like your average finish better be 6th or 7th because you're not getting close to anything.
Yep.
But all right, Jake, that's going to take us to checker flag on Dover this week. Before we close out tonight's segment, we're at the Brickyard this week. Who do you like?
At number 5. Back to back,
5.
baby. If it ain't number 5, I'm going to get shit from this. And I already know because one person's listening because he's been commenting. If it ain't him, and he knows I can't stand this guy, and he hears it from me multiple times a week. And on Sunday, if it's not the 5, it's the 12.
I mean, the Golden Boy. That was when the Golden Boy came out. Was this time
the Golden
last year,
Boy,
right?
baby.
The Golden Boy.
Gotta give it to the Golden Boy.
Yeah, give it to the Golden Boy. So you're going Larson and Blaney.
Yeah.
Not a lot of data on Indy since we're back on the Brickyard, the actual oval. We're not on the Indy road course anymore. I'm going to go with – I like Tyler Reddick this week. He finished here 2nd last year.
Yeah.
He led 24% of that race last year. I like Tyler Reddick. That'd be a big middle finger to NASCAR if he were to win that race in 23XI equipment.
That'd be awesome. I actually wouldn't be upset about it.
No, I wouldn't either. Another driver I actually really like this week. I'm still leaning a lot towards the veterans that ran this track a lot before we went to the Indy road course. I like Kyle Busch and I like Brad Keselowski. Brad last year was on the verge of a win, ended up falling short of gas, had to go down pit road, go get gas and all that type of stuff. I think that this is one of those races that you have to manage. You're going to have to manage tires. You're going to have to manage gas. You're going to have to manage everything. Not a lot of wrecks at Indy. We didn't see a lot last year. There could be a lot of penalties that could decide the fate of this race, which we saw with Chase Elliott last year. But I'm going to lean with
pit road for sure.
I'm going to go Reddick. I'm going with Kyle Busch, and I like Brad Keselowski as well. So those are my picks.
I can get on that Brad Keselowski train. I think it'd be. I wouldn't even be mad. I mean,
no.
It's a Ford in victory lane. I hate Ford, but for Brad, I wouldn't be upset about it.
No, I totally agree with you on that. So those are my picks this week. You're going with Larson, and you're going with anybody but Blaney. Wow. Can you say that anymore? Like anybody but Blaney? I mean, you picked Blaney to win this race.
Anyone but Kyle Larson was my first. I got to try to pick a winner. And he races good now. He's going to – I mean, I'll give you a sneak peek. He's going to be my freaking pick next week. So, I mean,
Interesting. I'm trying. This is groundbreaking news here. I mean, I'm about ready.
It's always anyone but Blaney, and if it ain't Blaney, it's anyone but Logano.
I mean, it's anarchy. I just did the sound drop.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm shocked. So, anyways, with all that being said, we're taking the checker flag on tonight's episode with Anarchy from Jake, who hates Ryan Blaney so much he chose him this week. But appreciate everyone tuning in live here on the Broken Woodbury Podcast YouTube page. Unfortunately, Facebook, it didn't load up again. I'm getting really pissed off with Mark Zuckerberg, dude. Anyways, appreciate everyone's love, support, comments, all that type of stuff. Fun show this evening. If you're going out to the Brickyard this week, enjoy your race weekend. If you're not, enjoy it wherever you're watching. If you love what you're hearing as well, follow us on YouTube, Facebook at the Broken Woodbury Podcast. And then on top of it, we are on Amazon, iHeartRadio, and Spotify as well. So, Jake, with all that being said, it's been a pleasure this evening. Glad to have you back as a co-host this week.
Yep.
Enjoy your Indy race weekend, man.
Yeah, have a good one.
All right, with all that being said, have a wonderful night. Be safe, be blessed, and we'll talk to you next week. Good night.
Good night.